I think we are live now, brother.
Yeah.
Good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining. This is the 147th edition of India Research meeting, and welcome to all. My co-host here is Brother Sunil. So he will do the corresponding introduction in Kannada. Over to you, Brother Sunil.
Yeah. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ 147ನೇ ಝೂಮ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ.
Yes, thank you. So today we are very fortunate and thankful to have Prashant Pandit here with us. He is the speaker today, and he is an independent filmmaker based out of Bangalore. Based out of Bangalore and Mysore, and he is a postgraduate in computer science, and he has worked in various R&D divisions of IT companies, and he has also studied a film appreciation course in Film Institute of Film and Television Institute of India, Pune, and so he has made a number of fiction and non-fiction films, and he's also, you can see his profile on IMDb, and I think mostly related to Kannada language, and so he will be the speaker today. Brother Sunil, you can go in Kannada.
ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್ ಪಂಡಿತ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅವರು ಚಲನಚಿತ್ರ ನಿರ್ಮಾಪಕರಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅವರು ಬಹುಶಃ ಅವರು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಸುಮಾರು 1 ದಶಕಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅವರು IT ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ನಂತರ ಅವರ ಒಲವು ಈ ಚಲನಚಿತ್ರ ಕಿರುಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಲವು ಹೋಗಿ ಅವರು ಸುಮಾರು 1 ದಶಕಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತೊಡಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರು ಈ IMD ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ನಾವು ವಿವರಗಳನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಅವರು ದಿ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಿರುಚಿತ್ರನ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅದು ಬಂದು ಕನ್ನಡದ ನಿಘಂಟಿನ ಪಿತಾಮಹ ಎಂದೇ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಪಡುವಂತ ರೆವರೆಂಡ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಫರ್ಡಿನ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕಿಟ್ಟೆಲ್ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಅದರ ಕುರಿತಾಗಿನೇ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಓವರ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್.
Thank you everybody for having me here, and nice to see so many of you joining from different parts of the world. I don't know, apart from Sunil, if anybody else has been able to watch the film. I'm not sure. I don't think so, right? So in that context, it limits me to kind of I'm kind of little bit of confused about. That's why I asked Sunil when he invited me for this. I said it could be more of an interactive session to make it more useful to everybody and also interesting. From my side, I could probably give a little background about the film itself, because essentially the outcome of my work for 3 years, I started in 2020.
Why don't you give a brief introduction of yourself, brother?
That's okay. I mean, you have done it enough.
No, but if you are further,
No, that's
Yeah,
good enough. Good enough. Yeah, in my past life I was in IT, and now I'm making films. That's about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So coming back to this film, in 2020, I got started with the research work about Ferdinand Kittel and his work. Like many people ask me, what is the reason you decided to make a film? What interested you? Because you seem to be, I mean, none of the filmmakers per se are interested in these kind of works or people. And secondly, as a someone who is a computer science person and IT guy, what is your interest? So my brief answer to them is, I have always been interested in dictionary, lexicography, etymology, and things like that, starting from my school days. That is my one interest. Second, all of us in Karnataka, here in Karnataka, we had a chapter, a lesson in our Kannada books about how Germany, how a missionary by name Reverend Kittel came from Germany, learned the language of Kannada, and then went on to create this wonderful dictionary. That lesson was always there. It was very fascinating. But then much later, my interest in lexicography, my interest in etymology, and my interest in understanding dictionaries and thesaurus and things again brought me to this. I mean, whatever you try to study in Kannada, you end up with Kittel. There is no escape. The kind of work that he has done is tremendous. It's a very huge scholarly work, and his contribution is very big. So time and again, I would come across reference to Kittel, reference to his works and things like that. So when I decided to start this detailed research, I started reading about him, what was available to me. Unfortunately, in 2020, by the time I started, not many people who have done a lot of work on Kittel, they were alive. Of course, there were few. There are few, but then one major figure in this field has been Dr. Srinivas Havnur. So Dr. Srinivas Havnur was working in KTC, Karnataka Theological College Archives in Mangalore. Before that, he was in Tata, this thing in Bombay. So he has written a lot of different books about Kittel, not only about Kittel, about other missionary contributors who have contributed to Kannada literature and philology and many things. So his work became the starting point for me in Kannada, of course. But then it was little limiting. What was there in that was very useful, but that was not sufficient for me. So I started looking beyond that. And then I came across works of various different scholars in different parts of the world, mainly in Germany, Tübingen University, and also the people associated with Basel Mission Archives in Switzerland, Basel, and things like that. And that is how I started collecting material, started reading, started making my notes. And that took quite some time to arrive at some sort of understanding of one, the persona of Kittel, the personality, and also his work and his contribution, his struggles and everything. But back of my mind, it was very clear to me that I'm not here to write a book, or I'm not here to kind of, write an essay or a research paper on this, because my focus is on to making a film. Therefore, every time I was looking for something that could help me arrive at some kind of a concrete a narrative building, a storytelling kind of a construction. That was what I was looking for. So then, as and when I started getting more and more into his life and his struggles and his work, and I also had to, I thought it is very important to go to all the places where he lived and worked out of, here in India as well as in Germany. So I live in Mysore, of course, as I mentioned earlier. So then first I went to Mangalore, where he had lived for quite a long time, working in the press and also working as a pastor and things like that. Then I went to Madikeri, Coorg, couple of places. One is in Madikeri town, another in near Virajpet, Anandpura. And then I went to a place called KT, this is near Ooty in Nilgiris. And he was stationed there for some time. So I went there to see what is available there, what more I can know about him and his work there. Then I went to Dharwad and Hubli. That is where he, first time when he came to India, he was sent there, he stayed there, and that is where he learns Kannada. He learns Kannada from Vaigle, another senior missionary brother of his, and he learns his initiation into Kannada and also English. Mind you, he's a German, and when he came here, he was only 21, 22 years in 1853. He didn't know English. They would only speak in German, and also as part of their theological study in Basel, they would have learned Hebrew and Latin, but not English. So he had to learn English also. So his initiation into English and Kannada happened in Dharwad. And then visiting all these places and trying to look for details and stuff was not easy. It was challenging. At the same time, it was very interesting, and I could gather interesting material. And also, as I was going to these places and doing my research, I was also capturing some images which could be later used in my film. And I was also planning my execution. Next time when I come here to shoot, what will I shoot? What will I capture? Because, as I said, I'm thinking one side of me is working as a researcher and another side as a filmmaker. So constantly these both I'm going parallelly. So that is how it happened. Then after I really arrived at one kind of a narrative structure, I started looking for the more details that could be useful for me in Germany, the places where he lived and worked out of, what all he did there, what all happened, and things like that. So unfortunately, Germany, one is I don't know German language, so I had to manage with some translation help from friends and things like that. I have one of my friend in Berlin helped me translate a lot of work that were available in German. Then the places that I could identify, mind you, Germany today is not the same as Germany that was in his period. This is a Germany after 2 world wars and whatnot, collapse of the Berlin Wall and things like that. So it was also quite, but of course, some parts of Germany still are intact. They still have preserved that era, but not many other parts. So sitting here, I was trying to figure out how I could probably capture and things like that. So I took a help of a German cinematographer and gave my inputs from here, trying to do video call multiple times and ask them to shoot from there and send me the material, which went in for some time, but I was not very happy with the outcome. Of course, it was useful, but I was not fully satisfied with that. So I decided to go to Germany myself. By then, I also happened to meet Mr. Rolf Hocke. Some of you may know him, if at all. So he is a retired pastor from central part of Germany. So he used to visit Karnataka multiple times, especially Mangalore and even other parts of Karnataka. So he knows Kannada. He's a German national. He lives there. He's a pastor, but he would regularly visit Karnataka once in 2, 3 years, spend some time. He has done multiple works here and things like that. So I was fortunate enough to meet him, know about him, and then initially we had video call and had discussions and things like that. So when I decided to go to Germany, he was of a great help because I was looking for somebody to do voiceover to my film because I had by then imagined the film as a first-person narration. It's like Kittel Kittel taking us through the journey of his life from his point of view. He's telling the story from his own voice. So that is how I had conceived the film, because I didn't want to do typical boring, talking heads kind of a documentary where some expert is sitting and explaining things, or I wanted really, really engaging. At the same time, try to recreate that era, represent that ethos, the times and the values, and because it's not a small thing for somebody to go to a different country, learn their language, spend something like 40 years of their life chasing so many difficult facing difficult challenges and chasing the goal, and very strongly believing that this is the service, in the service of God I'm doing this. It's not a small thing. So I thought, I decided to narrate this entire film from his perspective, from his point of view, and therefore the voice from in the film is that of Kittel's. That is how I had visualized it. So obviously I needed somebody who could speak German, who could speak English, and also who could speak Kannada. So Rolf was one such person. So I went to Germany, met him. I had to kind of train him a little bit in Kannada because he's not very regularly speaking Kannada, but he knows Kannada. He can read and this thing. So then I shared my script with him, explained things with him, and the 1 week's time that I spent at his place, we recorded the entire voiceover in a studio in Germany. And then I had already marked the places of where Kittel lived and worked out of, around Stuttgart region, around Kittel, by the way, hails from coastal Germany, from by the North Sea. It's a northeast part of Germany, adjacent to Netherlands one side and Denmark on the other side. So that part is now totally a different Germany. It's not the same, and it's quite far also from Stuttgart region. So I went to Kittel's birthplace, the church where his father was also a pastor, and they lived in that small village. So in and around that region, I went and I filmed there. I came back, and Tübingen, even the university university town where he lived the last part of his life and eventually died there, and he's cremated there in Tübingen. So also Tübingen University is the one which confirmed doctorate to him for his mammoth work. He was one of the early recipient of PhD for work in Kannada in 1902, I think, yes. So all these I would consider myself very fortunate to meet interesting set of people, coming across the material that I was looking for, though I wanted more, but this much I could end up finding and then doing research. So it took me 3 years of it's a labor of love. Research, going around, meeting people, trying to connect the dots, because some details are missing. Everything is not readily available. A lot of challenges were there for me, but it was end of it was all very rewarding. And I think this is how I can summarize the effort of 3 years and the film. And I wish and hope all of you would be able to see the film sometime in the near future. And that would probably open the doors for many more discussions, I suppose.
Wow, amazing, amazing journey, amazing journey. I mean, so if you, the floor is open for questions, and I will first, Dr. Vishal Mangalwadi is online. He is one of our main leaders. He's our main leader. He's written 27 books, and he's also visited Germany multiple times. He has
Right.
spoken at many German universities. So I will let him speak for some time. Yes.
Well,
Hello.
thank you very much for that wonderful introduction to the film. We will watch it and promote it. I have my publisher, German publisher, is in Basel. So one of my books was released in that Basel mission where Kittel studied. And
Right.
I've also done a series of lectures at Tübingen University. And I'm going to Stuttgart in November. So well connected with Stuttgart. So it
Right.
is what you're describing is very interesting and personal. Now, a few days ago, I was reading an essay in one of the prominent news magazines written by a Muslim who was accusing missionaries for developing Hindi, missionaries such as Samuel Kellogg, for developing Hindi because they wanted to divide Muslims who were using Urdu and Hindi. So the motive of these missionaries was to divide and rule, so divide Muslims. So that's why they developed Hindi. Likewise, you have a number of people such as Rajiv Malhotra and Deepak. Sai Deepak, who are arguing that missionaries developed Tamil, but they did it to create Aryan and Dravidian conflict. So this was divide and rule. So in your study of Kittel, what were his motives for developing this dictionary and contribution to Kannada language?
Yeah, so sorry, while you were mentioning some of these names, I couldn't help but laugh. But anyway, maybe I will be blunt. I will be blunt, and I will be straightforward in what I found and what I discovered and what I believe. Somebody who comes to in the very I am taking the example of Kittel alone. Of course, I can take other example like Mogling and other missionaries who were there along with him. Just take Kittel himself as an example. Somebody who arrives to India at the age of 21 and spends almost 40 years here, entire lifetime, and then he has been given this task of, creating a Kannada English dictionary. English is not his mother tongue. German is his mother tongue. And Kannada is not the language that he knew till he came here. So both English and Kannada are alien to him before he came here, mind you. So he has been given the task, and then he goes on collecting words, collecting meaning, and examples and all those things. Of course, there was legacy. Before him, Herman Gundert had created Kannada Malayalam dictionary, and there were many others. The legacy was there. But all these, speculation, all these, accusations and allegations are so baseless and meaningless. For the simple reason that if somebody like Kittel had some ulterior, some hidden motive and things like that, why would he come up with a magnum opus like this, which has got something like 70,000 words, which is unparalleled, I mean, unimaginable. Imagine in those days, there was no electricity. Forget about internet and all other modern day, this thing. Everything had to be handwritten. Everything had to be handwritten. Most often during the daytime, and in the evening time, there is no electricity. All you have is, lamp of some sort. And in Kittel even mentions in one of the letters which I have used in the film that by holding the pen and writing for so long, for so many years, there was a permanent dip that had formed in both his fingers, dip, as in, because holding the pen like this and writing. And he also lost his eye. Towards the end, he was losing his eyesight. He was constantly going into a headache and things like that. I mean, that these physical difficulties apart, why would somebody take so much of personal go through so much of personal struggle and challenge and face one's own health, and what kind of ulterior motive can be there to be like that? It's nonsense, number one. Number two, even if somebody were to go through the dictionary and try to go through the details with which Kittel has compiled it, and kind of the level of details he goes on to mention one word and then one Kannada word and meaning in English, and then he goes on to divide between how different dialects of Kannada this particular word is used. If it was only a dictionary that was supposed to give one Kannada word and equal to this in English, and that's about it, he could have probably done much faster and be done with it. Okay, this is an assignment I got from, say, Britishers, and they have some motto, and I'm done with this. No, he goes into so much of details. He gives reference to so many palm leaf scriptures, of ancient texts like Panchatantra or Mahabharata or Ramayana. So many different works that were available to him at that point in time. He quotes from an old poetry. He compares between 2-3 different poets and says how this poet has used this word in his verse and how this poet has used, and how this word is pronounced in Mysore region and how it is used in Dharwad region. How a certain swear word, which is considered vulgar in some part of Karnataka, and what is the kind of, he goes on and on and on into the level of detail which even modern day dictionary makers and lexicographers will find it difficult with all the tools available at their disposal. So this was very fascinating for me. See, as I told you earlier, I am somebody who was interested in lexicography and etymology and all this, and therefore my starting point is dictionary itself. When you are browsing through Kittel's dictionary, you realize that it is not just bunch of words and meanings. It's a cultural vocabulary. It's a cultural vocabulary which gives you a glimpse of certain lifestyle of certain communities in different parts of different part of the Kannada speaking world, I would say. What kind of detailing, what kind of interest one should have to do this thing. And if anybody who wants to charge such allegations and accusations, first they should simply go through the dictionary, not even full entire dictionary, just one small section. If they go through, it is enough to dismiss such allegation. That's nonsense.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope I could kind of touch upon the question that you had raised, sir.
No, I think you're right. Dr. Babu Burgess has just joined us, and this essay on the motives of creating Hindi, that missionaries created Hindi. They were attacking Dr. Babu Burgess. I don't know if you're familiar with his book, Let There Be India. So this writer was attacking his book that, yes, missionaries created modern Hindi, but their motive was to divide Hindus and Muslims. That's so. But Sai Deepak and others, they make the same allegation that yes, missionaries created Tamil, modern Tamil. Ancient Tamil was, of course, different. Modern Tamil, but their motive was to divide Dravidians and Aryans. So divide and rule. But a German young man doing this, he has no political interest.
No, why would he? One. Number two, I could also probably, it would not be out of place. See, he was commissioned to do this dictionary work somewhere around 1870, not before 1870, yeah. Somewhere around 1870, yeah, later part of 1870. So forget about that. One of the early works that he did was to create textbooks for school children. Kittel has written entire textbooks for school children. He has translated so many hymns from German language to Kannada language. He has written one entire history of church in Kannada, following the Kannada poetry methodology, as in the prosody. How the medieval Kannada poetry used to be written in that scale, in that meter. He has written about the history of church and things like that. So even in the early textbook that he came up with, in the end of the textbook, the last few pages, he dedicates to give a glossary of words and the meanings in English, and equivalent in German also. Mind you, it's a Kannada textbook. It's a Kannada textbook where he's writing about different, it's not a English, what you call language, science, geography. Everything is put in one textbook, for the school children. Wow. Towards the end, he has dedicated some 20-30 pages to just give a glossary of words. One column in Kannada, one column in English, and then he also gives equivalent in German. And this is for school kids in Karnataka. That shows how much he was, in the very beginning, he was so much interested in this lexicography and etymology. That itself is a proof, actually. Yes. Forget about the dictionary. That came much later.
Yes, we have Dr. Babu Varghese online with us. Dr. Babu Varghese has actually done his PhD in linguistics, and his book is "Let There Be India," which is actually his PhD thesis. Dr. Babu is actually on travel. He's traveling, so maybe he has some connection issues. But if you can speak a few words, Dr. Babu Varghese.
Yeah. Namaskara. Kannada, namaskara. Okay. Yeah, I have a connection problem. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on and off connection. I'm in near Belgaum. Okay. Ferdinand Kittel. See, in MG Road, Mahatma Gandhi Road, in there next to the Mayo Hall.
Yeah.
You have a small statue.
Correct.
I asked so many Kannadigas, Christians and others. Do you know? Hardly anyone knows that. So we have a lot of statues which nobody knows and nobody writes.
All right.
And in 2017, when they had to celebrate the first grammar book of Kannada by William Carey, I don't know how many people celebrated. That was the first prose in Kannada.
Right.
This evening, I just finished a meeting. I was in Belgaum, where Kannada was being translated. My message was translated into Kannada. I asked them. They also have no idea. So thank you, brothers, for this meeting, this open discussion. See, dictionary and grammar book and literature has nothing to do with religion.
Correct.
People attribute everything to religion and conversion, and very sad. Yeah. Thank you for this initiative. It's all began with Dr. Vishal's motivation. We all work with the team. So thank the Lord for the last 25, 30 years. We are continuing this research.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Thank you,
I
Dr.
have
Varghese. Yes. Anybody has any questions?
I have a question.
Yes. Who is this?
Amit, can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I must heartfully thank you, Mr. Prashant, for your efforts, the way in detail you explained your own motivation, your previous interest in, the etymology of word. I remember myself during my school, I bought a book, The Dictionary of Word Origins. I myself have that, fascination, how a
Right.
word actually came.
Right.
And you as a neutral person, because you had your own interest of words and learning the languages. My wife is actually a Kannada, so my kid mother tongue is actually Kannada,
Right.
and I can appreciate your efforts. Now, you already explained as a neutral, unbiased person that there was no motivation behind these missionaries to divide India. But do you think their actual motivation was to really liberate the local people's mind so that they can have a language, not only just to talk, but to write, convey idea? Do you see that evidence as well that they actually promoted it? How was your experience understanding Father Ferdinand's effort in that direction?
Yeah, I can definitely say a few things. With respect to Kittel, as I told you, some of his early works, I have let me just pull it off. I'll just quickly run through the.
If you want to share, you can share.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
1862, first book that he wrote was textbook for school children in Karnataka. 1862. Okay, he comes to this part of Karnataka. Of course, back then it was not Karnataka. It was Bombay Presidency and Madras Presidency under British rule. So 1862, he wrote this textbook for Kannada speaking children, and that entire modeling of that book, you can see the German textbook influences. Definitely you can see, but the topics discussed, the chapters and lessons, which covers language, which covers geography, history, and so many things. It's all mix of local cultural, social, and geography, and all those details, and also the world. So it's a combination of both. Then he comes up with the anthology of Kannada poems. Mind you, it is in 1865. 1865, he compiles all the poems that he could collect till then. Mind you, they were all in manuscript form, in palm leaf, this thing, because Basel Mission Press was one of the early press in this part of the world. Though other presses was coming up, but Basel Mission Press was in Mangalore was considered state of the art because of their wonderful production of books. They would publish in Tulu, Malayalam, Kannada, English, and also in Tamil. So that was based out of Mangalore, and that press was state of the art press. They would get all their machinery from machines from Basel, from Switzerland, from Germany, and the typefaces were also cast. They were cast in Europe and they were brought here. So they were kind of standardizing the languages, because one has to now use the languages in the form of books. You have to publish the books following the methodology of printing technology and everything. Before that, everything that existed were handwritten stuff on palm leaf, on manuscripts. And hardly the notion of punctuation didn't exist, as we understand today, right? Missionaries contributed a great deal to that. I'm not just saying Kittel did that. I mean, overall, I'm saying. But Kittel was in charge of that. He was working in that Mangalore press for the longest of the time. He saw through publication of so many books. It is not just biblical works. It's not just Bible. It is all other works like Kannada Panchatantra, grammar book for children, and this anthology of Kannada poems. Anthology of Kannada poems is a wonderful work which composes the poems and poetry from very many different poets till then, from 10th century, 8th century, 9th century. It's a pioneering work. It is not biblical work, mind you. So, lot of such references, lot of such this thing, and very important work he brought about is called Shabdamani Darpana, which is Jewel Crown of the Grammar, which is the earliest Kannada grammar book, which he compiled himself from various different sources and made some corrections, because always there are man-made errors in the handwritten manuscripts, right? So he could compile multiple of those manuscripts, put them together, gave a detailed commentary, and brings out first 8th century, 10th century, this Kannada grammar book called Shabdamani Darpana, jewel mirror of Kannada grammar. Similarly, he brings about this Kannada prosody book by a famous poet called Nagavarma. This is again dates back to 10th century. So he was so fascinated about the literature, whatever has been written till then, whatever he could unearth, he could compile them. He was also a teacher. He taught to school kids in Dharwad. Today, that school is named after him. It's called Kittel School and Kittel College in Dharwad. If you ever happen to go to Dharwad, you can see that school and college. So he taught, he wrote, he translated, he compiled, all these things he did before he took up this magnum, this major work of Kannada dictionary. So therefore, there can be many evidences like this you can see where his focus and his interest and his thing is so much more into literature, so much more into language, so much more into culture, all these things, and all other allegations can be dismissed so easily without any effort.
Thank you for your apologetic approach to defend these efforts,
Yeah.
that they were not really dividing India, but they were working to unite the spirit of the people around India. And I appreciate. Now, next question, I'm curious, who is next? Is there any other missionary whom
I don't know. I am, of course, while doing research about Kittel, I came across so many interesting work about, so many useful and interesting information about others. Mogling definitely is one of them. Herman Mogling, who was a little senior to Kittel, who again is from Germany, who is considered father of Kannada journalism, because he brought out first ever Kannada newspaper. And he was living major part of his life in Coorg. Of course, I have come across many others like that. I'm interested. But then this work of making this film has been quite a journey, both in terms of fascination as well as interest and challenges, but also as an independent filmmaker without any institutional support, without any backing. It's been quite a challenging journey. So taking up one another such work would be very challenging unless I really find some supporting hands. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for an individual to toil for 3-4 years. And now again, I'm in the process of finding and figuring out how to really take it to the people and really see the light of the day. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to take up more work in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. By the way, I am Amit Khurana. I am based in San Diego, California.
Right.
I'm a researcher by profession, so I can see your great zeal.
Right. Thank you.
May
Thank
God
you.
bless you with your future efforts, and
Thank you. Thank you.
stay in touch with the India research team. I think
Sure.
our people would love to help you in some of the ways if you
Correct.
are
Correct.
focusing in this direction.
Correct. 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 I will definitely.
Sure.
Prashant, do you know of Anish Daniel?
Sorry?
Do you know of Anish Daniel, who's made several films?
No, I have not heard of him. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe we can connect you with him.
Yeah. Where is he based out of?
I think Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yeah, he's made a film on several, like he made the film on the missionary who was burnt alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Graham Stain.
Graham Staines, yes.
Questions, yeah.
Very well connected.
Right.
Yes, thank you for your labor of love. We will definitely support you in your in promoting this film, and
Right.
because
I definitely look forward to, I would.
yeah, definitely, because we are ourselves, we are a research group. We have done extensive research in many facets of this, various facets of nation building. I think Dr. Vishal might speak one or two lines about that, about the book we have released recently.
Mhm.
Dr. Vishal, yes.
Yeah. Well, we have always wanted, we've been researching and writing, not publishing as much as we should, but we've certainly been hoping that people will make films on this, but we haven't got started. So we really admire your sacrifice. I wonder how much money you lost
Yeah.
and how much your family bore the burden. But this is very helpful, and I hope that momentum will be built up for this kind of in-depth research, because one of the basic conviction is that the true wealth of the nation lies in the hearts and minds of people. So education is what brings out the inner wealth, which creates the external wealth. So find gold mines like Kolar gold mines or petroleum or uranium or other things. These are valuable natural resources. So is the water and forests. These are natural resources, but you need to cultivate the mind to harness these resources. And that is what these textbooks and educational effort and language is the means through which the intellectual treasure is built up. It's the bank, the knowledge bank. And so educating, right now, during the last 10, 11 years, almost 90,000 schools have closed in India, mostly in UP and MP. And that is a great tragedy that the initiatives that had begun to bring out, cultivate the mind of the people. So India should and can become the greatest nation on earth, because the younger population age is on our side. It's not on China's side, and it's not on America's side. The white population is not growing in America. India has the potential, but that potential requires development of language and literature to cultivate the mind. So people have to be encouraged to learn to read, learn to think, and learn to express themselves and teach each other. So this is towards the vision, the dream of India 2047. That's a dream. And Saturday we will be talking about perhaps launching a website for India 2047 to promote efforts such as this. That how do we build a great nation, and what are the forces that are dividing us? It's a house divided against itself will fall, and the people who are I was just listening to before your session a video on who burnt Nalanda, who destroyed Nalanda, and the researcher who teaches UPSC students, he is divisive. Instead of investigating truth, but using history to divide, and is terrible. But you are using history to build, giving the vision, exploring the heart and the motives of these people who built our languages, who built our intellect, our mind. And that's what really developing the language does to people of Kannada. So yes, I take other questions or?
Yeah. If there are other
Maybe
questions.
Maybe I could add more to Professor's thing, Vishal's thing.
Definitely.
I see Kittel, I mean, another fascination of mine to follow Kittel so meticulously arose from the fact that, see, here is a person who transcends the boundary of religion, who transcends the boundary of language, who transcends geographical boundary itself. He's just transcending. All these three in modern world, today's world, 150, 60 years later today, have become the bone of contention. The language, the moment you say language, that is the reason for fighting. The moment you say religion, that is the reason for fighting. The geographical boundary, of course, wars and whatnot. So here is a man 150, 60 years back who transcends all these three and comes up with so much of valuable work, dedicating his entire life to following that mission. So in that sense, missionary for me is not in that limited sense of the word. His mission was to serve the people, the common people, through the work of language, through the work of literature, through the work of teaching and thing. And that serving common people for him was ultimately serving God. He is very clear in his. In fact, in my film begins with New Testament's thing. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with the God, and the Word was God. So, what is this word? For Kittel, word meant so many things. It is Word of God, of course. It is word as in the word that he was chasing all his life, looking for words and meanings. And also the word, as you say, giving the word. I'm giving the word. So I'm promising. I'm kind of walking your talk basically. So that's also a word, the promise, right? So he kept his promise that I'm going to. And in this today's post-truth world, saying anything, doing anything else, and getting away with anything else has become so easy and so common. And looking back, just a century back, there lived such people. They did all kinds of work. And then, it's just unbelievable. It's just how far we have come and for what. That is one is left with wondering, So yeah, that's what I wanted to add to Professor's words.
Thank you.
Definitely words of wisdom from you. Thank you. I would ask, in that article I saw online, you mentioned that Indians don't have the system of documentation, while Germany had this, German nation had this, documents were available for you to research. So can you give some, insight into that further?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier during the introduction, when I started off, my easily available works in Kannada was of Professor Srinivas Havnur, and that also was limiting because his focus was on. Of course, he was very much fascinated in Kittel, and he's the pioneering. He has done pioneering work on Kittel, but he gives brief summary of what happened, how did he came, a few things, and it doesn't go beyond that. And then when I started, I wanted to go much more academically, much more deeper in academic sense. That was not sufficient for me, and I was. Some message came. I don't know. Did you get a message? Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
then I was looking for more information elsewhere, and Tübingen University archives. Tübingen University has the Gundert portal, and also the Basel Mission archive. Those two were quite helpful and useful, though Basel Mission Archive was not readily useful for me. So I contacted them and I told them I'm an independent researcher and filmmaker. So I'm trying to access more material about Kittel. They said, of course, a lot of material is available here, but they're all in old German. They're not even today's German. And we need to scan them from the printed form or the handwritten letter form, and then give it to you, and then you will have to translate that into today's German and then to English if you don't know German, and then that would be useful for you, and we would charge so much for it. And as an individual without any support and background, I found it extremely difficult for me to go that route, and so I was not able to use any of those material that was available in Basel archive. Then I happened to interact with one German historian, Professor Reinhard Wendt. So he has done a great deal of work on Kittel and his contribution. So he was quite helpful. His book was very helpful. Again, that book was not readily available here in India. I tried to go to library and archives, and some old book was available. And I live in Mysore. Archive in Bangalore would not let it out. And, then somehow I found that book in a second-hand bookstall in UK, and I got it shipped from there in UK. And it was COVID time. It took some 3 weeks to come from UK to me, and then a lot of circus happened. But during this process, I figured that when it comes to documentation, documenting without any bias and focused, very academic kind of a thing, we have really we have to catch up. We have a lot of catching up to do as Indians. Whereas even the smallest details that I could come across in archive in Basel, Tübingen, and they were very, very easy and very well documented. I would say methodically documented piece of work, and that helped me in a big way to come up with the material for the film. Yeah.
Brother Sunil, yes. Thank you for your answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, your
The
audio is
information-
breaking up.
Kittel-
Audio is breaking.
Hello,
Yes,
hello.
yes.
Yeah. So I read about Kittel that he has composed many poems. So are you able to collect those poems?
Yeah. I have been able
Poems.
to, I have been able to collect the poems that he has written. Sorry?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Actually, in our Kannada textbooks, if you take any class, so we can see poems of Ranna, Ponna, and after that it jumps to recent writers or poets. So why they are missed, even though this Kittel has contributed so much to the development of Kannada language. Even poems he has written. He has translated many, very good old books, like what you mentioned, 10th century books. But there is no credit in Kannada books. So why it got missed? What is the reason?
Again, I don't know. I would say it's the ignorance of the people who are commissioned to do this kind of work. I don't know, because very clearly in the works of Professor Srinivas Havnur, he clearly mentions he mentions the firsts that can be credited to Kittel. For example, he says Kittel probably is the first modern Kannada poet. He declares that, Srinivas Havnur, with evidence. Till then, poetry in Kannada meant long verses, following certain prosody and, what we call chandas, poetry metering system. Whereas Kittel came up with simple, small poems, of course, following some of his German poetry and German connection. Not only that, he would, for example, he was living in Mangalore. So he looks at the sea, the ocean, Arabian Sea, and he writes a small poem about Arabian Sea. He writes about coconut tree. He writes about some bird. Small poems in Kannada, as if it was for fun, as if it was for exercise, whatever it is. But small, simple poems he has written. Back then, poetry didn't mean that small, interesting works. Poetry really meant huge works. So he has written those things. And he has, of course, translated hymns from German and English to Kannada. Then he followed his own idea and he wrote afresh in Kannada. That collection is there. Of course, I was able to collect a good amount of those. Kittel's, especially poetry, written, translated, the songs that he has written for children, and composed to Indian, the meters of Kannada prosody. And he also mentions ragas, because his understanding of Carnatic music, local music, was so phenomenal that he claims that these songs can be composed in Purvi raga, in the Aditala, and things like that. So phenomenal work he has done, and rightly so. Srinivas Havnur mentions with evidence in his book. But unfortunately, as you rightly said, somehow this is missing in our school curriculum, and maybe I don't know whether Kannada graduate and postgraduate students even they get to read this or know about this. I doubt. I don't know. It's unfortunate, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And there is a proverb, right? So those who don't know history, they cannot create history.
Correct.
So from that aspect, what consequences you see if you miss what is our history? So what do you say about it?
Yeah, I would definitely say I went to Tübingen University. As I mentioned, I went to Tübingen during my German visit, and I went to Tübingen University. I saw their archive a little bit, and library. I didn't get the full access, but I was fortunate to meet the head of Indology department. And I spoke to them. While I was talking to them, I said quite a good amount of work seems to have been done about Malayalam, about contribution of Herman Gundert, and lot of work. The material is available. There is a Gundert chair. There is a Gundert portal. A good amount of work seems to be happening around Malayalam, student exchange program and things like that. And I kind of, while discussing with the professor, I asked, why not much work seems to be there around Kittel's contributions? Why not about Kittel? Even though Kittel's contribution is much bigger and much more, Then she said, of course, with a smile and with this thing, yeah, probably you guys should start it, You guys should, why don't you start it? Then I told, yes, of course, somebody should take initiative from here, the universities, departments and interested organization one should take. It's not an individual's effort, of course. I understood, what she meant. So hardly there is any interaction, any that sort of university level thing has to happen. Even with respect to archive, Basel archive, when I went there and I saw the kind of material that is available, it's a treasure. It's a really, really, anybody interested in studying that period, because Basel Mission, specifically Basel Mission, if you take, it's not just about what all they did, in terms of printing, in terms of bringing out this educational material. Their industrial establishment itself is another thing. I don't know if you have come across the works of Professor Jayaprakash Raghavaiah. Have you heard of him? Jayaprakash Raghavaiah, I think he comes from Telicheri. He has written about the industrial contribution of Basel Mission. And then there are others who have also written. Like I have come across some material, some papers and others, because Basel Mission started the tile making factory. Basel Mission started weaving establishment. Basel Mission started watchmaking. Basel Mission started these safety lockers. They started horticulture schools. Of course, hospitals and schools were there, which other missionary organizations also did. They started schools and hospitals and extending the service to common people. But Basel Mission went beyond that. Their industrial establishment itself is such a wonderful, wonderful story. So many work they have done. So some of that is documented, of course, not very widely known, not very widely circulated. But if a good effort is done to unearth the material that is available in German language in Basel archive, now it is called Mission 21 in Basel. Wonderful, wonderful material is available there. Unfortunately, it is not for an individual or one of us to do that. It should be an institutional effort. One could work with them and really take out those material, and then so much unknown part of the history would be known to us. It's a treasure there. It's a treasure, really.
Yes, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Brother Daniel Thomas is from Kerala. Is that part of Kerala where Basel Mission was very active? Do you have some comments, Brother Daniel?
Yeah, if you remember, a couple of years ago when we started this, and you were describing the blessing that Kerala received, and you were focusing only on the southern Travancore kind of thing. So at that time itself, I had mentioned this. What Basel Evangelical Mission it is called.
Right.
Even today, the schools started by them are going on with the same name. And as Prashant Pandit has said, all those industries that he mentioned, today, of course, many of them have become defunct.
Okay.
But the fact that they started all this to bless the people of Malabar is really, really fascinating. I don't think this kind of industrial input was given in southern Kerala and all that. It was in Malabar that
yes.
this kind of thing was. It's really, really amazing. Yeah.
Correct.
Crepe textiles, crepe textiles, crepe. So when I was in college, we used to get crepe shirts made in Mahi and other places in North Kerala.
Right.
So they were all started by these people.
Yeah. In fact, I came across this piece of information that British police and British what you call soldiers, they wanted a uniform and
Khaki
they wanted
uniform,
some khaki uniform. That is also a contribution of Basel Mission.
By Basel Mission.
That was woven because they came up with this thick fabric with earthy color. And khaki, the word khaki comes from Urdu khak, which means soil. So that is the classic contribution of Basel. All these interlocking tiles that we have, what we in our part of Karnataka, we call it Mangalore tiles.
Yes,
Essentially, it is basalt tiles, you know. Earlier, it used to be thatch roofs in this
Yes,
part, and later all these clay, terracotta, baked tiles
Yeah.
became very popular as Mangalore tiles. That
Yeah.
is a contribution of Basel Mission.
Yes.
Watchmaking, mechanized weaving setup,
Right.
safety locker, their horticulture experiment. There is a huge horticulture. In fact, in Dharwad, in Gadag, they had started an agricultural school specifically to cater to the children of the peasants, so that apart from learning reading and writing, they should focus on agriculture. So they came up with this idea of agricultural school in Gadag. Oh, I mean, the vision and the contribution is immense. It is immense.
The impact would have been longer lasting, but as I
Exactly.
read something about it, what happened, I believe, was during the Second World War,
Yes,
Germany and Britain fell
Correct.
apart, and all these
Correct.
people, these
Yeah,
missionaries,
they
and
had to leave. All these people,
they
they
were
had to
thrown
leave as is. So that really hampered the whole thing. Otherwise, that impact would have been far more.
enduring. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
And just as a maybe a trivia, this name Kittel, it's rang a bell in my mind. You see, students of theology know a 10-volume book called the Theological Dictionary of the New Testament, TDNT, it is called. An abridged version is also available called Little Kittel. So I just now I checked up what's the connection between Ferdinand Kittel and Gerhard Kittel, who wrote this TDNT. Apparently, Gerhard Kittel is the son of Ferdinand Kittel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this.
Yes.
Wow.
So, Theological Dictionary of the New Testament is very, very famous and very useful.
It's
for students of
available
theology.
in English.
Yes, it was translated by some guy called Bromley, and just now on the ELS website, I can see one copy available for rupees 15,000.
Oh, okay.
10 volume. That is 10 volumes, by the way.
Right.
Wow.
So there's just a small connection between Ferdinand Kittel
You
and
mentioned Gerhard, is it?
yes, Gerhard Kittel.
Okay. Gottfried, Karl, I know, Frida, Helmut, Julius, Clara. I had made a family tree of Kittel. I also made a timeline starting from his birth to his death. As and when I was reading material, collecting everything, I used to make a sort of a timeline because it was scattered everywhere and I had to put them together. I also tried to make a kind of a family tree. That's why I was wondering if I have come across this name. I'm not sure. Yes.
How many kids did he have? Children?
What I have come across is Gottfried and Karl. These are the two children. They were born in Mangalore to his first wife, Pauline. Then she dies of typhoid. Then Kittel takes them back to Germany and they are raised in their grandmother's place. Then he marries Pauline's sister, Julie, comes back to India. Then I have been able to find Frida and Helmut and Julius and Clara. These are the four names I have been able to unearth. Others, and Kittel had a brother called Jabo Kittel, who was stationed in Tellicherry. Kittel's own younger brother, Jabo Kittel, was stationed in Tellicherry. He was also a missionary. Not much is I could unearth about him. And then, yeah.
A little trivia question.
Yeah.
Prashant from Dallas, how did you discover Prashant?
I saw him on I saw this news, somebody shared in some group this news about this Kittel movie, which was going to be documentary rather, which was going to be released. And so I contacted brother Sunil from Bangalore, and that's how brother Sunil connected him. Was the one who was the connection between me, to
Thank
Prashant.
you. Thank you so much. So enriching.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I think that draws us to the end of the session, and um, thank you so much for your for speaking to us, as well as for the documentary, the
Yes.
your labor of love of more than 3-4 years now. I guess you started during COVID, right? So it's
Yeah.
almost
2020 I started.
Oh wow, okay, so it's almost 5 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing, how you have persevered and achieved the end result, despite
Yeah,
many.
I could probably before ending, I could do two things if you permit me.
Sure.
This is the original 1894 dictionary that I have a copy of.
Wow.
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 Printed in 1894 in Mangalore. Of course, outside it doesn't look nice. Obviously, it's very old. This is the dictionary that Kittel compiled. I don't know whether you can see how big it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
It's all handwritten. I mean, composed, and it's a lot of work. Very difficult to imagine how one could do that. That is one thing. Second thing, I just wanted to mention, while I was going through some of these old books and other things, a particular style of Kannada typeface drew my attention. It was very fascinating to see those beautiful looking Kannada font typeface that was used in the foundry. I mean, I also learned that many of the early versions were created in Basel. And then brought to India, and then they used in the printing press here in Bangalore. So today, that font, that typeface doesn't exist only. First of all, press doesn't exist. The ruins only exist, which I tried to use as much as possible in my film. And then I was fascinated, and I said, something should be done about these books that are now available in the PDF form, and that font is lost. So what I did, I again wore the hat of my IT software engineering hat. I scanned the books and scanned those individual letters, digitized them, and then recreated that Kannada font. And I named it after Kittel and released it open source. It is freely available for anybody to download. It's called Kittel font, Kannada font, So I created that so that it will remain forever. Anybody using computer today can use that Kannada font for all the historical and nostalgic reasons. So I released that. So I created a website where his works, all his works that are available in the PDF form, that is listed there. And this font is available for download. So I'm just in this chat, I'm giving the link of that website. You guys can go through. In the chat section, I have given the link. It's called kittel.sanchaya.net. Anybody who is interested in using this Kannada font, they can download and use it. And of course, all his other works are available in the PDF form in that website. So yeah, this is nice interacting with all of you, and I hope to get in touch with many of you, and I would be very happy if all of you can see the film and we can have an interaction.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I will ask Brother Sunil to close in prayer. Brother Sunil, if you want to thank God for the life of Kittel and also the effort of Prashant.
Yeah. So it can be done in English or
I guess,
English, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Loving Heavenly Father, Holy God, thank you God for this opportunity that we could able to remember what you have done through a young man who arrived through your love and blessed India and Kannada region. Oh God, thank you for your enabling us to know the true story, what you have done in the past through Prashant Pandit. Thank you for his life, Lord. Even though in spite of so many challenges, you gave him strength to endure and finish the work, what he has started. Lord, Lord, you are the one who can fulfill the all the lackness for your glory. Help Prashant Pandit. Thank you for all who have joined this to get inspired. Oh God, as Kittel has determined, he became Indian to Indian, as Paul said. Give us such a determination. In Jesus' name we pray.